France's second-largest city, Marseille, throbs with vitality from where it sits on the Mediterranean Sea. Its scenic natural harbor has made it an important trade center for centuries. Marseille is a city made for wandering around, from its historic old town to its blended architectural styles. It lends Marseille a rakish character and intoxicating dynamism and color. Today we share the top 10 best things to do in Marseille so you can plan a trip and experience all the exciting attractions and activities this beautiful city has to offer. Starting with number 10, Prado. Despite being on the Mediterranean and having 42 kilometers of coast, Marseille has never been considered a beach destination. In the mid-70s, though, the Prado Seaside Park was created, reclaiming 40 hectares of sea and laying it with shingles and sand. What makes it is the view of the gnarled white rocks at the start of the Calanques to the southeast. Your other option for seaside relaxation is the beaches of Corbière in the north, just past L'Estaque. At number 9 is the Les Calanques. Les Calanques are a series of miniature fjords south of Marseille near Cassis. The narrow inlets are encased in steep walls made of limestone or dolomite and are highly scenic. Hiking even a portion of the rocky cliffs above the Mediterranean Sea and its fjords can take a day. Foot access is restricted in summer due to extreme heat, while cruising through the inlets can be done in a couple of hours. Samna, south of Marseille, is considered a must-see Calanque. It has a rocky beach and is popular with scuba divers. At number 8, Notre Dame de la Garde. An observation post has sat atop Garde Hill since the 15th century. It was followed by a fort, which later served as the foundation for the Basilica of Notre Dame de la Garde. Today, a giant statue of the Virgin Mary sits atop the bell tower watching over sailors, fishermen, and this port city. It is one of Marseille's landmarks. A sanctuary inside the church is also devoted to the Virgin Mary, whose feast day is celebrated on August 5th. The Basilica is a popular destination for pilgrims. At number 7, Chateau d'If. Chateau d'If is an island fortress in the Mediterranean Sea offshore from Marseille, about 2 miles from the old port. The fortifications take up pretty much the island of If. It was built in 1524 to defend Marseille from invaders approaching from the sea. It was successful at doing this. This is a good thing since the fortress was shoddily built with its many gun platforms. The chateau later housed political prisoners. It is most famous as a setting for the 19th century novel The Count of Monte Cristo, written by Alexandre Dumas. At number 6 in our list, Old Port of Marseille. The Old Port, or Vieux Port, is a natural harbor that has seen use since the ancient Greeks founded Marseille 2,400 years ago, though it now serves mainly as a popular tourist attraction. At one time, 18,000 ships a year berthed at the Old Port. Old Port is made for pleasant strolling and relaxing over a glass of wine at a sidewalk cafe. St. Victor's Abbey, one of the oldest Christian churches in France, is located here, as is the lighthouse, the Fair de Sainte-Marie, and the Roman Dock Museum. At number 5, Fort Saint-Jean. Fort Saint-Jean is a massive waterfront fortress as the entrance to the Old Port. King Louis XIV ordered the fortress built, just as he did Fort St. Nicholas on the other side of the harbor. It was used for political prisoners during the French Revolution and was a staging point for new French Foreign Legion recruits. Occupied by the German military, much of the fort was destroyed during World War II when a munitions depot exploded. The fort was restored 30 years later and is part of the MuCEM today. At number 4, Cathedrale de la Major. Visitors to the Cathedrale de la Major rave over the beauty of this Catholic church, its high ceilings, and fabulous mosaics. They also say it's worth a visit to see the views of the harbor. Cathedrals have been built on this site since the 5th century. The latest cathedral, built in a spectacular Byzantine Romanesque style, dates to the 19th century. This French national monument is the oldest church in the city, though it is not the most famous. That honor belongs to Notre Dame de la Garde. At number 3 in our list, Palais Longchamp. The monument Palais Longchamp was created to celebrate the construction of the Canal de Marseille, which brings water from the Durance River to Marseille. The ornate building opened in 1869 after taking 30 years to build. The building presents a spectacular scene at night when it is lit up. The complex includes the Parc Longchamp, one of France's notable gardens. The park once housed a zoo. These buildings can be visited today. The park is also home to notable statuary, an artificial cave with water flowing through it, and a classical French garden. At number 2, MuCEM. The MuCEM, formerly known as the Musée des Civilisations de l'Europe, is devoted to the history and culture of Europe and the Mediterranean Sea from Beirut to Gibraltar. Indeed, it is built on land reclaimed from the sea. It is located next to Fort Saint-Jean and opened in 2013 when Marseille was named a European Capital of Culture. The museum's uber-contemporary building represents modern Marseille. Visitors say exhibits could be better organized to display essential artifacts and paintings. Check out the number 1 places in our list, La Corniche. Weaving down the coast several kilometers from the old port, La Corniche is one long balcony next to the Mediterranean, going past beaches and quirky little neighborhoods. You can drive it, but it's just as rewarding to walk for the sea air and outstanding Friol archipelago vistas and the Chateau towers in the bay. One of the most striking sights is the Vallon de Offs, a traditional fishing harbor on a steep inlet, ringed with ramshackle old huts and accessed from the sea beneath the arches that support the road. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite things to do in Marseille? Is there something we missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Greenable if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.